Just want to say, folks, obviously the last 12 years have been brilliant here, and we are, say, back to the wall, so to speak. So we are going to, big shout out to anyone that wants to have any parties here, bookings, private parties, birthdays, funerals, anything, weddings. We'll be here to cater for all occasions.
Alright, welcome back to Falcon Blues TV, and if you've ever been in this pub, you know exactly where I am. The closest pub to Goodison Park, the Winslow, the Winslow Hotel, and I'm delighted to be joined by Dave, the landlord. Dave, thank you for inviting us down.
No problem.
I just wanted to know, we've done a few vlogs of different pubs and stuff around the new stadium and things like that, but obviously we wanted to bring it back here a little bit, find us a bit more about the pubs that are still going around Goodison Park. Obviously we've now moved to the new stadium and things like that, but this pub has got more history, and probably the most history out of all the pubs around. It's all been here for amazing nights at Goodison Park, and obviously we've been given a new history with the women's team. But give us your side of everything, and how you become landlord, and how you become proprietor and everything of the Winnie. Everyone knows what this pub is.
Well, I'm licensee general manager, so I came over here in 2013, the end of 2013, and we opened up on the 1st of March 2014, which is actually, so if you think the Winslow, right? So we opened one side first here.
Yeah.
So it would have been an iconic venue, right? But had closed for 18 months. So we opened up this side first, and then we opened up the second side. The reason I want to mention the day we opened was didn't realize the importance of it till afterwards. So we looked at the fixtures and we aimed for the 1st of March. It was West Ham. We opened this side, got one room renovated. And it wasn't until the game had started and all that, and I must have been reading somewhere online that it was the anniversary of Dixie Dean's death.
Right, okay.
He died the 1st of March 1980 at the Derby over the road. And if you think that this was his local, and outside the door the sign is Dixie, the Windsor Hotel, and I thought, wow, I didn't even know. I had forgot that the way the fixtures fell. And I said to myself from that day forth, the stars are aligning for this business because of that. And we've had a great run here. Well, for me personally, 12 years. The Winslow itself is 1886 it was built. So this whole area was developed around the same time, the streets and all that, and the houses, and this was here right in the middle of it. So it's 6 years, predates Goodison. And what happened was, I'll give you a little bit of history on the Winslow, apart from my own personal stuff. But so the landlord of the Winslow in 1886 was a guy called John Rice. And he was friends with William Hartley's Jam. And Everton were playing at Anfield at this moment in time. This is coming up to 1892, because they played at Priory Road, Stanley Park, and then Anfield. So they were having the issues with holding and the rent.
Yeah, of course.
So they sat here, John Rice and William Hartley, and I think 3 or 4 other businessmen, and apparently they were licensees on licensed premises, so they would have sold alcohol, which was kind of frowned upon in the 1800s. So the temperance movement was quite strong. So to cut a long story short, then they got together with William Hartley. They approached the club, and right across the road was Muir Park, which Goodison was built on, and they gave what we're supposed to be called today a brown envelope, maybe a little leg up to help buy the land. It was and that's what happened. That is something that's been it's been documented by the Heritage Society.
Okay.
Yeah. So ever since the first game was played in 1892, it's been a mainstay of Evertonians match day, except obviously it was closed for that brief moment, that year and a half before we took it over in 2012. I think it was closed during the war or something, because there was no games. So me, on a personal note, I've been an Evertonian since 1976-77 season. I was a young lad in Ireland and didn't have a football team. You know what I mean? I was 9 years of age. Everyone else was supporting the usual. Like in Liverpool, Arsenal, Man United. There was Chelsea supporters and Leeds, I think it was. They were the common ones. And of course, me being a little bit, I suppose, never following the beaten path. I didn't have a team, and I was reading a book in the library as a young lad, and I picked up this book. Can't for the life of me remember the name of the book. There was a chapter in it about Goodison Park, Everton Football Club, and Dixie Dean. And a month or 2 later, my mum was clearing out the attic, and there was a big old long wave radio from just post-war, which was my granddad's from the 50s, and there was a massive thing, right? And I saw on the dial Radio Merseyside. So okay, ma'am, I'd be able to pick up the Everton games, and we were I think we were at the quarterfinals of the League Cup at this point, because we got to the final, the 3 games against Villa.
Yeah.
And long story short, it's a short story long. I could pick up the Everton games. I think Alan Green was a commentator. I think that's his name.
Yeah.
Ever so faintly, you'd have to put your ear to them, and you could barely hear it. But that was where my love affair with Everton started.
Yeah.
That book, that radio, and here I am today.
And you were just talking before as well. There's a great painting behind us on the side chair from Kevin Sheedy, who was local to where you lived.
Well, Kevin's dad. So again, I'm a firm believer of the law of attraction. I can tell you another story in a minute as to how I ended up here. So was a guy I met on the train, but I go off tangent. So that you asked me about Kevin. So when Kevin started playing for Ireland, Everton, and then he got capped by Jack Charlton because his dad was Irish. He was in the newspapers at home. Kevin's dad came from County Clare, and he said the area, and there was a shop in that area. It was about half an hour from where I live, and I just said to myself, "They got to be the same family."
Yeah.
So we were, myself and a mate of mine, we were only young lads, teenagers. We were selling Hurleys, and we loaded up the little car, and we drove. And the first stop we made was this shop, and I walked in, and would have been Kevin's uncle behind the counter.
Really.
Grocery shop with a couple of petrol tanks and or petrol pumps, and I said to him, "You wouldn't be related to Kevin Sheedy by any chance?" And he pointed to a picture of Kevin behind the bar, behind the counter, and it was his uncle. And he bought some Hurleys off us. He was the only person to buy anything off us that day. But I've got to know Kevin on a personal level quite well, because he comes in here quite regular, and he's just a lovely fella. And on top of that, then so he became my favourite Everton player as a kid. So I started supporting Everton in '76, where you get through it into the time when we started winning and stuff.
Yeah.
And I used to go down to the shops and I used to buy the Sunday People every Sunday, and I cut out the match report from the Everton game, and I put them in a scrapbook.
Yeah.
And I was always a goal for Kevin, scoring a goal or whatever, and he scored quite a lot of goals. I remember I immigrated to America in 1987 or 88. I was 21, and said to me, "Ma'am, one of the last things I said to keep my scrapbook safe."
Yeah.
Came back 5 years, it's all gone. So all those match reports from probably about 8 or 10 years of Everton games gone.
It's always the way. Always happens. Yeah. Something gets in the way. But you've got your own history to this pub as well. Obviously, we mentioned Dixie Dean there, but even from my own personal level as well, I'm from Goodison Road. I was born in 99 Goodison Road, to be precise, just past the Spellow.
Yeah.
And the Spellow was probably closer to me than it is to Winslow, but this place has always had my heart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's always been out. I come out the main stand, or I'll come out to wherever, and I'll just be right. I'm going to Winnie. I'm not going to any other pub, because this would be the place that you would just go. You knew faces. Everyone wanted to come here. Everyone wants to come to the Winslow. Not just for the memorabilia, just more the memories. Like you say, the 80s sides that were winning games. People would come rolling out of Goodison, rolling out after like the European Cup and Cup semis and stuff like that, and just bask in the history that's steeped in this building and steeped in Everton as well. I've come in here loads of times. I've mainly been in for the karaoke and the dukey that's been on there after the game and stuff like that more than anything. But this to me is Everton history in a nutshell. You can have Goodison, but if you wanted to pick up the atmosphere and the feel and the whole sense of how Evertonians feel, you come in here and you find it, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, on match days, so when I arrived here in 2013, I had actually been in here twice before when I came over to Goodison as a fan.
You've been here twice?
Yeah, twice before as a customer. So 2002, my first game, and it was against West Ham. It was that game when the Caneo caught the ball, you remember?
Oh, yeah.
I think it was 2002. So I remember that day getting dropped off the top of the road, and I didn't know the Windsor from Adam. I walked down, and it was the first pub I went into. So I didn't even look at the name. I just walked in, had a couple of pints, went to the game. I remember leaving here and not even getting the name of the place because it didn't really register. It was a pub next to Goodison. And I came back, because I was living in Germany at this point. Came back a couple of years later, went to another game. And I stood, not too far from where we're stood right now, just the other side of that wall there. But little did I know that, all these years later, that I would be licensee of the premises I'm standing in. So it's really weird to a degree. But how I ended up here was actually, there's a story behind that as well. So you have to go to, I lived in Germany for 19 years, right? So you remember 2007, we played with Nuremberg in the same group, the Europa League, and they were bombing the group, they had nothing to play for, it was dead rubber for them. So I was living in Germany, so I'd been on a few Everton forums, and I was able to get loads of tickets in the Nuremberg section. I said loads, I think I got about 15. Because I could use a German IP address, so there was no limit. You could just go on and buy them because your Nuremberg fans weren't buying. I remember on one of the Everton chat rooms, which used to be on the Everton website. The Blue Room is on evertonfc.com, and I got to know a few lads, and I got some tickets, and I met them at a pub down there, and I can't remember the name of the pub now, but gave them the tickets. But on the way to the game, I'm on the train going from Mönchengladbach down to Nuremberg, which is a fair hike, and I'm on my own, and I have a bag of beer. And the train stops at Cologne Airport, and the door opens, and 4 lads just walk straight in. Evertonians wearing Irish toffies, Irish lads, the golf shirts, and they sat down right there. And I'm here like that. So immediately you spark up a conversation, don't you? Bag of beer was over there, we were drinking. And one of those lads, or those 4, Franco Bonelli was there as well, and Lar Hogan, lads, I'm forgetting you, and Sean Healing, And we went to the game, had a great night afterwards. There was a good piss up afterwards, if I'm honest, and there was a certain strip bar where I won't mention, but anyway, that was good crack. And so years later, that was 2007. I got a pub in Ireland back home from Germany, and I stayed friends with Sean, and then it was him. We'd had a few chats over on WhatsApp or whatever. I met him for lunch one day. He lived 1 hour from me, and he'd come over to the game in 2013, or the beginning of, I think it was Boxing Day 2013, so the end of December. And this had been closed. I didn't know it was closed, and there was scaffolding outside the door with Frank Burr, one of the owner, of all his details on it. And he said, "This is reopening. This is right across from Goodison, the Winslow." I said, "Yeah, I've been in that place a couple of times." Because I knew I'd been in the one right across. The name, I didn't register with me at all. So I did a bit of research on it, and I found the Facebook page, and I messaged them, and the rest is history. So I came over and met the lads, and here I am, and I've been here since. But if I didn't meet the guy in the train,
that is literally a sliding doors moment.
Do you know what I mean? If I didn't offer the beer and stayed put my head down, which I wouldn't have done anyway, or if we didn't remain friends, I wouldn't have been here.
It's amazing.
I'm a firm believer of that, man. You people, you meet them for a reason,
So the men's team have now left Goodison Park. How did that feel? I mean, obviously we know that there's going to be a lot of change around the area, particularly around L4. But what does it mean to you as a fan then leaving Goodison Park? Not as manager of Winslow, more a case of I want to keep it more upbeat.
So I mean, okay. So on a personal level, obviously, I couldn't go to as many home games anywhere near as I wanted to or felt I would be able to initially, because I was so busy here. I used to go over first couple of seasons. I used to go, by the time I get my stuff done, it would be the second half. And I used to get in a little knock, one of the stewards, and I used
we've all done that. We've all done that one.
No, I hope I get any more in trouble. And I used to go up in the main stand, right up to the top on the steps, and sit in between the seats in the concrete, and that was I get 15, 20 minutes. And we were playing so bad at that period of time. It would have been Martinez's second season, I think. And I just wasn't. I ended up not going. I used to go to away games then. But my first couple of visits to Goodison back in the early 2000s, I was so excited, and like running the Winslow, even though I'm not at the stadium, not at the game, I still feel the atmosphere, because the build-up here is fantastic for every single game without fail. The build-up pre-match is brilliant. After match is very much relevant on
the results,
performance and results. Which, let's face it, over the last 12 years that we've been here, they haven't been great. So
but we make the most of it.
We do. Listen. There's never been a match where it's been like all doom and gloom. So first half an hour, people are talking about the match, and singers on and get a few drinks, and just get on with it.
Back on with the air. Let's say. So with them moving now, and now we've got the women here. Is that giving you a bit more? Is that bringing anything like clientele back? Is it sort of like more of?
Yeah, if I could just go back to one thing I meant to say as well. I mean, Goodison, right? I'll speak about the women in a second. Goodison, I mean, we all know. I mean, one of the old style stadiums, which they're gone. I mean, I think the closest to Goodison now probably would still in the Premier League is probably Villa Park.
Yeah,
and so we're not going to. I haven't been at a game at the new stadium yet. You know what I mean? I know the atmosphere. There's potentially to recreate.
Yeah,
but you're never going to recreate. What I always found about Goodison was the smells.
Yes.
The old smells.
The whole sensory thing. Yeah.
So you get the old smells, you walk through, I get the smells the couple of days before from the kitchens are up there, they're off the cross and you go in. Especially when the grass has been cut and it's springtime, whatever, you can actually smell the grass.
Yeah.
Because you're that close to it, yeah. That I don't think you can replicate anywhere, you know what I mean? So I just had to mention
of course, no, that's it. That's the whole vibe.
You just feel that you're at grassroots, literally, no pun intended. It feels like a grassroots stadium, you know what I mean? As opposed to the shiny toys but I mean, I haven't been in the new stadiums, I can't say too much other than what I've seen on video and stuff. But you asked me about the women, yeah. So obviously, it's great to have the women playing across the road. I mean, footfall is obviously a fraction, something like 5% of the men's game. You know, if you look at 3, 4, 5,000, whatever it is, and it's predominantly families. But there is a lovely vibe here.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. There's an absolute lovely vibe, lovely people. You know, it's a totally different dynamic.
Yeah, that's it.
Younger people, older people, and but I'm very, very privileged that they're using this as their base. You know.
So as well as then the women, we're also trying to encourage for more of the away fans to attend if they can. Obviously, this is, there's pubs closer to fucking Mordor over there anyway.
You're talking about Liverpool away fans.
Yeah. So if you're going to play at Mordor,
Grayskull.
No, that Grayskull is the place of justice and He-Man and stuff like that. Snake Rock. Snake Mountain. Thank you. There you go. Snake Mountain or Mordor from Lord of the Rings. It's one or the other. So if you're going over to Mordor and you're playing and you want to come to the Bevy, you go to Brick, you go to Spello, you go to wherever. But this would be one of the places that you would want to come. I mean, this has always been a welcome place for away fans anyway.
Yeah.
So when Evertonians have been in, but no one's ever been. No, you can't come in. It's like everyone's welcome, and Evertonians will always greet an away fan.
Sure.
Correctly,
Yeah, in the 12 years I've been running here, we've always had away fans every match. But it's only ever been little pockets, you know what I mean? 4, 6, normally a husband and wife and a kid. Or there's only one time we got a group of lads, and that was Newcastle. Only one time they came really early, caught us on the hop. There was about 25 of them, and let's just say they didn't stay very long because they were asked to leave. They were up on tables and what have you. But then when that was when they were playing us, so obviously you can't have a group of if you're playing whoever, you can't have 20 or 30, you can't.
Yeah,
so little pockets, no problem. So when whoever's playing across the road, or across the park, Liverpool, it's probably a market I probably missed the boat on, that I didn't have my eye on previous to us really needing it now. But I've worked on. We've had Villa fans for the last probably 5 or 6 seasons. The same group. It's like one coach. You know what I mean? They're great lads. And when United play, we do tend to get a handful of United players. And when City play, we get a few. And Arsenal, we tried something with Arsenal recently. I mean, Kevin was a very good customer and a personal friend, and he's been an Arsenal legend as well as an Everton legend.
Yeah.
I got to know some after his passing, or while he was ill as well. I got to know some people on the Arsenal podcast side. Did a couple of podcasts with them, and then there's a Princess Guna and Andrea down in London. She helped me. I said, look, Everton are playing Arsenal soon. And I think Kevin would have loved to see this place full of Arsenal fans, and it did happen. We got about 80 to 100 of them, lovely lads. They all came in for about 3 hours before the game, had a good few drinks and walked across to the stadium. All very respectful, wish us the best of luck with everything. And I was telling them I was doing the coaches, and we did start doing the coaches, and but
it's the way people are trying to work out their own routines and stuff, isn't it?
I had been advertising the coaches for quite some time, and I thought, we get a half a season, maybe a full season out of it. but we got nothing. Got absolutely nothing. 25 people on a 90-seater. We did it for 5 games, I think, or 4 games. Had to pull the plug on it, yeah, sadly.
But we've got, the idea then really is to encourage the away fans to come here then, and, you know, as many as possible. Even if you're coming down here to come on a tour of Goodison, to then, you know, come here, then go to the new stadium.
Anything
fully encourage that.
Anything at all to try and help us out, because we are struggling major now without the footfall, which I knew would happen, to be fair. Yeah. But I didn't think, like I said, it didn't happen. What happened was quick. Yeah. But you mentioned away fans again. I must say as well that we do get pockets of when Liverpool when they play in Europe. Yeah. We have in the past, because I speak German. We got a good. Oh, this is going back many years ago now. We played Dortmund. We must have got 300 Dortmund fans. Yeah. It was mental. Didn't expect 300. Expected 100, but more kept turning up.
Fair enough.
And then we did another time with Real Madrid, or Atletico Madrid, or Real Madrid, and a handful. But it's difficult as well to get to, you know, to navigate those type of things. You know, it's not easy. But look at all away fans when they're playing over the road. Will obviously
you're more than welcome to come to the Winslow.
Yeah, and we'll be obviously. We've always said as long as we win, we always support whoever they're playing against.
Absolutely. We'll put a shirt up or a flag up or something for you if you want. But Dave, what's then the future for the Winslow and yourself then?
Well, like I say, we're going to keep doing as best we can. We get little bookings in, you know, like birthdays and what have you. We got a sizable booking with the Swedish Evertonians in December. We get a couple of guest speakers in, do a buffet for them. And then get through Christmas and see where we're at in the new year, reassess. But, you know, right now that's what we're surviving on. We're surviving on the women's games, which isn't many games. There's only 8 over here. There's only 3 gone, I think, only 5 left. There's 3 down below. And whatever way fans we can get in are playing across the park. And after that, then you're down to whatever bookings we get, you know. But, you know, I mean, I will, failing all else, I myself personally, I am looking at projects down by the new stadium, you know.
And there was one we were talking about before.
Well,
a bit of information about that.
Yeah. I mean, I did look at a couple over the last 5 years. Not something I've just decided in the last 6 months. I mean, I have looked and walked away from them because I felt the cost was the figures didn't add up for me personally. And I had some investors and all, but this now is different. This is me just going in as a manager. I say but so I was approached there about 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks ago.
That's okay, so only recent,
Yeah. And I've been down there with them, and I could say the name, no problem. So it's on Dixon Street, so which is literally 5 minutes from 5 or 6 minutes from the stadium. So just up and to the left, I think it's the third of, just past the tobacco warehouse on the left. So there's a rave bar up there called Meraki, which has been operating since the beginning of the season as an Everton match day venue. It has its late night raves going on, but then on a match day it becomes an Everton bar. We had a singer in there last week, one of the lads that I used there. Beers are fairly cheap, pints are $4.50. So 5 pints for 20 quid. These are match day prices at the moment.
Can't come over that. That's all, can you?
5 pints for 20 quid, $4.50 a pint. I've taken a couple of staff from here. There is a good team down there. It's nice. It's a nice vibe. It's got a good, huge, a pretty big beer garden. So when the weather, obviously we haven't got the weather now, but when the weather breaks again in March, April, really will be nice. But then next door, right, there's a very big unit, garage, right?
Right, okay.
So that's now, it's currently getting converted. And that bar is going to be called Dixie's.
Right.
I can tell you that right now, right? It's going to be 2 floors. It's a sizable unit, probably 300 square meters ground floor, and then there's going to be mezzanine. And above that's going to be phase 1 and mezzanine phase 2. And in the top will be like a garden terrace. That'll be probably March next year. So the first phase will be done probably by the January, mid to late January. Okay. And it's a sizable unit, like I say, and it's going to be, I think it's going to be an excellent Everton match day. Probably.
I think what the new stadium needs is these new places and these. Obviously we've had all the routines here, but then people need these routines down there.
Yeah, I know. I'm resigned to that now. I mean, we can't. You know, it's very difficult to get people in here before the match and commute to get down there.
Of course,
We've tried it with the coaches, but just to say what you're saying there. So, okay, so you're 53,000 at the game, 49,000 Evertonians, 4,000 away fans, whatever the numbers are. So I think the more venues down there, the better.
Yeah.
Because people will bounce some more. Because what will happen then, I think, is that more people will arrive in the area earlier rather than town.
Yeah.
The town, without due respect, town has enough.
Yes, completely. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? To be fair. So to bring up that area, if there's another 6 Everton bars in the vicinity, albeit,
yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and they just bounce off, one will just bounce off the other, you know, like a little village type thing, you know.
Good stuff. Well, hopefully then we'll do something similar that we're doing today. We'll come down to Dixie's, we'll have a chat. Yeah. Hopefully all's going well.
Yeah. Do you know what? Why not? And why not, if you want, monitor it over the development of it. So
of course,
it's very early days now. Steels went in, the timbers are going in. So I would say, just by guesswork, a few weeks from now, you'll be able to go in and do something, get an idea.
Yeah, that'd be
idea of the scope and the size.
Yeah. There you go. Well, yeah, our number one vlogger, Paul, will do that for you.
Like I say, if I put it in comparison to the size of the Winslow, it's probably, the 2 floors here is probably 3 times the size.
Right. So, yeah, so you're in for hopefully
3 times the size of the 2 bars, not the whole building. Yeah. So it's nice.
So it should be really, really.
Yeah.
Well, we're looking forward to that one then, definitely.
All right.
So make sure you're liking and subscribing to the channel. Hopefully you've enjoyed this little trip down memory lane with me and Dave. Subscribe to the channel. Follow us on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. You know, the usual places. TikTok. Thank you, Paul. But Dave, thank you very much for this.
Most welcome, Dave.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Cheers.
Up to Soffies.